Picture this: a small town, stone streets, lanterns glowing as the sun slips below the horizon. The air is filled with laughter, music, and the clinking of cups. It's a wedding. Not just any wedding. This is the kind of celebration that lasts for days. Family, friends, neighbors, everyone is there. There's dancing, storytelling, and tables overflowing with food and wine. And somewhere in the crowd, there's a man named Jesus. He's not standing out, not yet. He's there with his mother, Mary, and a few of his close followers. At this point, most people don't really know who he is. To them, he's just another guest enjoying the celebration. But something is about to happen. Something quiet, almost unnoticed, that will change everything. Mary is moving through the crowd, taking it all in. She's attentive, watchful, and then she notices something off. The hosts are starting to panic. The wine is gone. Now, that might not sound like a big deal today, but back then, at a wedding like this, running out of wine wasn't just inconvenient, it was embarrassing. It could bring shame on the family. It meant the celebration was falling apart, and you can almost feel the tension spreading beneath the surface. The music is still playing, but something's wrong. Mary doesn't ignore it. She turns and walks straight to Jesus. She doesn't make a scene. She doesn't demand anything. She simply says, "They have no more wine." That's it. No explanation, no pressure, just a quiet statement, as if she already knows something no one else does. Jesus looks at her, and his response is unexpected. "Why do you involve me? My hour has not yet come." It sounds distant, almost like he's saying, "This isn't the time." But Mary doesn't argue. She doesn't push. Instead, she turns to the servants nearby and says something simple, yet powerful. "Do whatever he tells you." Nearby, there are 6 large stone jars. Not decorative, practical. They're used for ceremonial washing. Each one holds a lot of water, gallons and gallons. Jesus looks at the servants. "Fill the jars with water." Now, imagine being one of those servants. You're already stressed. The party is on the brink of disaster, and this guest, this quiet man, tells you to fill cleaning jars with water? It doesn't make sense. But they do it anyway. They fill them to the brim, every jar, completely full. Then Jesus says something even stranger. "Now draw some out and take it to the master of the banquet." Wait, what? They just filled those jars with water, but again, they don't question it. They obey.